Hey everyone, so welcome back to my channel. If you're returning, thank you so much for being here. And if you're new, hi, my name's Phoebe. So for today's video, we are going to be cleaning out my Syrian hamster Teddy. So I got Teddy on the 30th of April 2021, and I actually adopted him from Apple Tree Hill Hamster Haven, which is a lady who is a rescue just from her house basically, and she lives about 15 minutes from me. So I messaged her last year asking if she got any Syrians, and I subsequently bought another Dettol and adopted Teddy. So for anyone that doesn't know Teddy already, Teddy is about 1 year old. That is just a guesstimate because I'm not actually sure how old he was when I adopted him. So I'm not sure if it's because he's a rescue, so he is quite shy and withdrawn. However, you can tell he's so gentle and so friendly, and he's never actually ever bitten me. Fingers crossed, because a hamster bite absolutely kills. For anyone that doesn't know already, hamsters are one of my biggest passions. So I absolutely love all animals, but one thing that I am extremely passionate about is rabbits and hamsters. I know there is a lot of false information which is out there regarding the care of hamsters and what is okay and not okay for them. So hopefully by doing this video, I'm going to squash some of those, and hopefully I can show you some really good hamster care. If you do enjoy, then please hit the like and subscribe button down below. Let's get on with the video. Okay, so this is Teddy's cage. He is currently in there somewhere at the moment. So this is something that you would call an IKEA Dettol. So if you don't know about this already, because it is quite a popular DIY cage in the hamster world, it is actually a stand-up display cabinet which you can buy from IKEA at £65. So what you would do is you'll tip it on its side, as you can see. You don't put the shelves in, you remove the door, and there is your hamster cage. One thing that you will notice about this cage is it doesn't actually have a lid. That is something that you have to DIY yourself. So if you have got an IKEA Dettol, or if you are wanting to get an IKEA Dettol and you cannot make a lid for it, that is what my business does. So if you do want a lid for it, just drop us a message on Facebook, which is at Freddie and Friends, or on Instagram at Freddie and Friends Shop. I'm just going to take out all the accessories first. I've just zoomed in on another thing which is an addition to an IKEA Dettol. So a disadvantage, if you want to call that, of the Dettol is that it is all on one level. So at Freddie and Friends we make shelf brackets so you're able to put a shelf in and add another level to your cage. And that comes with all the things that you need to fit the shelves. The only thing that it doesn't come with is the actual wooden shelf itself. Teddy is now arrived, so we're going to take him out and pop him into a carrier just so that he's safe and sound during the cleaning process. This is a carrier that we're going to pop him into. So this is a rosewood animal pod, and I believe it's in the size medium. So I actually bought this from Argos. I bought another one from somewhere else and then realised getting it from Argos is a lot cheaper. This is about the right size for really small rodents, so hamsters and mice and such things. So there is a little button here which takes the red bit off the top in case you do need that. There's ventilation holes in the top, round the side, and there is also a little button here which makes it easy to open the lid. And it's important that when you do take out your rodent that you make sure that you pop some of their old bedding in there just so they do feel comfortable. So I'm going to go ahead and pop Teddy in there for now. Here is the little man himself. So this is Teddy. You're going to say hi everybody? Say hi. He's a Syrian hamster. As you can see, he is a lovely golden colour with dark eyes. So just as he turns around, you can see these little spots on his back there. There's one identical on the other side as well. So these are actually called scent glands, and not many people actually know about them. So these scent glands are more prominent in males, and what they will do is they will lick them and then rub them over all their accessories just to claim it as their own territory. Put you in your carrier so you can go back to sleep because Mummy's disturbing you, isn't she? You're a good boy, aren't you? Go on in there then, go and have a nap. So I'm just going to pop him somewhere safe. I've just zoomed in on another product that Freddie and Friends offer. So this is a 150ml Dettol water bottle holder. So the other downside, you could say, with the Dettol is that there is nowhere to attach the water bottle. And I've heard a lot of stories of people trying to try with Velcro and even the sellotape. And unfortunately it still doesn't hold the bottle. Embarrassingly, I've actually got two different colours, so if you did order one from us, it'd all be in the same colour. All that you do is literally just pop your water bottle in there, and that's safe for your rodent to drink out of. So we do these in a range of different sizes. So this is 150ml, which is fine for small rodent. And then we also do a 177ml bottle, which is slightly bigger. And we also do a 320ml bottle, which is the largest one of the lot. I'm gonna grab a black bin liner and I'm gonna load all of the old bedding into the bag. So I'm using this little tiny dustpan and brush, which I actually bought as a one-off, thinking that I wouldn't actually use it a lot. I think it was about 90p or even £1 from the range, and it was the best thing that I have bought. While I am doing this, one thing that I forgot to mention is we actually do another type of water bottle holders, which is a adhesive one. So if you have a cage which doesn't have bars, you can buy the adhesive one, which literally is the same, but it just has a sticky pad on the back instead. Give it a little brush up, and then later on, when I've got all the big chunks out, I'll go around with the hoover just to get all the little sandy bits out. You actually miss a great deal by just brushing up. Another thing about the Dettol, so as you can see, my Dettol is actually placed on the carpet. So some people like to keep them on cabinets, and the only thing I would say about keeping it on a cabinet is when you put a lot of things in, the weight at the bottom, it can sometimes give in, which is obviously extremely dangerous for yourself and the animal. So if you are putting it on a cabinet, just make sure it is the correct size and that it fits on the cabinet. And also what people like to do is to pop some cardboard underneath just to ensure the bottom stays where it should be. If you are going to be moving the Dettol around at all, just make sure that you take the majority of the bits out before you move it. So as you can see, I have got a massive bag of old bedding, so don't throw this away because we're going to need it later on. So now I'm going to go in with this spray. So this is the Johnson's Veterinary Clean and Safe. So this spray, it was £3.50 and I bought this from Pets at Home. It does three things. So it deodorizes, it disinfects, and it kills bacteria and viruses that may be lurking within the cage. So you're going to spray this in and wait 15 minutes. Just make sure you get the sides as well as the bottom of the cage. So it's now been 15 minutes. I'm just going to go ahead and wipe up the rest of the spray using either a cloth or some kitchen roll. So this is the bedding that I'm going to be using today. So this is the KT Clean and Cozy Extra Odour Control. So this has 14-day odour control guaranteed. So with hamsters, they do kind of use one spot as their toilet. So they won't go to their toilet all over the cage. They will do all of their wheeze, particularly in one or two or possibly three places. I usually buy the 85 litres of KT Clean and Cozy from Amazon, and that is £21.99. When I went to buy some more bedding, that unfortunately wasn't in the stock, so I had to get two of these. Got another one down here. So this was a 40 litre. The price was £16.99, so it came out a little bit more costly than buying the 85 litres on its own. So the good thing about KT Clean & Cozy is it is 99.9% dust free and it absorbs 6 times its weight in liquid. Also, the good thing about KT Clean & Cozy, it comes in a few different colours. So this one has little grey bits in as well as white. I know there's like a brown, there's a camo colour, there's confetti, which is loads of different colours mixed. There was no white in stock, so this is why we've gone for this one. While we're on the subject of bedding, when choosing the right bedding for your hamster, you've got to think about what substrate would be best. So one thing that pet shops often recommend, which is totally wrong, is sawdust. So anything that is wood-based and dusty is definitely a no-go with hamsters. So dusty bedding can not only cause respiratory issues, but also issues with the hamster's eyes and their nose, and it can even lead to tumours. Hamsters often bury themselves within the bedding. If they are in a dusty environment, it can cause issues for them. You want to go for paper bedding. Another thing to avoid, which pet shops often recommend, is fluffy bedding. So the things that you see, which is kind of like the inside of a teddy, so the stuffing type fluffy bedding. So this is another thing that is totally not safe for hamsters. Not only can it be ingested, it can cause internal blockages and it can even get stuck in their pouches. So if the fluff gets inside their pouches, they often can't get it out. So that's where the blockage comes from. It can also cause bowel obstructions, and the fluff can even get wrapped around their limbs, which cuts off the circulation and therefore in extreme cases can lead to their little limbs being amputated. So another thing about bedding is when you are cleaning your hamster's cage, it is not advised that you often fully clean out the cage. Several times a week I will do something which is called a spot clean. So I will go into the areas which the hamster uses as their toilet, and I will take out the dirty bedding and replace it with some more bedding. That's extremely important to do, otherwise it can get very messy within the cage and that's not a good environment for them to live in. When doing a clean out of your cage, it's important to leave some of the old bedding in. So what I usually do is either do half and half, so half new bedding and half old bedding, or I'll do 3/4 new bedding and 1/4 old bedding, depending on how messy the cage is. Hamsters have really bad eyesight and they rely on their nose, so it's important to use some of the old bedding, as that will already have their scent on and show them that their clean cage is still their territory. If you mix the old bedding with the new bedding, that will transfer the scent around the cage, which assures them that it is okay and they shouldn't be worried, and that will also lower their stress levels, as a clean out for a hamster is often a very stressful time. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut open the bag and load that into the cage. Another thing with hamster bedding is it needs to be piled up high. So hamsters spend a lot of their time actually underneath their bedding. It is important that they have somewhere to burrow, nest and make tunnels. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fetch out the bedding which I took out before and just put in some of the old bedding. Okay, so moving on, the next part of the cage, which is a big feature, is the sand bath. So this is Teddy's old sand bath, so it's still got all the old sand in it, but I'm going to change that in a moment. So as you can see, it isn't in anything fancy, it's just a lid from a box of paper. So a sand bath, the bigger the better really, and I'm going to explain some of the benefits just in a moment. So I'm going to pour all this in the bin, as he's had this sand in there for a little while. I'm just going to explain why a sand bath is an essential part of your hamster's cage. So sand baths are actually frequently used by hamsters to clean and balance the oils which are in their fur. You will often see them rolling around, you'll often see them using it as a toilet, but it is a good multi-purpose feature for your hamster. Just like humans, hamsters like to clean themselves often. So sand baths should be used by hamsters for cleaning. You should never ever wash your hamster underwater. Not only can they drown, but it also unbalances the oils within their fur. It also encourages their natural behaviours such as digging. So hamsters come from a place where it is really dusty and dirty, and they like to dig and make burrows. Putting a sand bath in your hamster's cage, you're encouraging the natural behaviours of the hamster within your family home. Hamsters like to use their sand bath as a toilet, so they will often go in there just to do a few little wees, which you can use a little sieve and a paintbrush and just get out the mess. So that improves the hygiene and the quality of the hamster's life. Hamsters absolutely love playing around in the sand, so it lowers their stress levels, also keeps their nails down as they're digging in the sand. In pet shops they often sell little sand baths, but they are not big enough. Hamsters need the space to be able to roll around and flick the sand wherever they like, so the little toilets which you can buy from a pet store I wouldn't recommend. So this is a sand what I buy. So when you buy some sand, sometimes it's called chinchilla sand, so it needs to be as dust free as possible. I'm going to go ahead and add the sand. Next thing to mention, which is extremely important for hamsters, is a wheel. So a wheel is an essential, it isn't optional as to whether or not they have one in their cage. They really need to have a wheel in their cage. So this one is the wooden Trixie wheel, and I bought this from a local pet shop at the price of £33. I have had this for about 2-3 years and it lasts absolutely fine, so please invest in a larger wheel for your hamster. On Zooplus they are actually priced at £20, which is so good value for money. With wheels it's definitely the bigger the better. So with a Syrian hamster the minimum wheel size is 28 centimetres, and for any dwarf hamster the minimum size is 21 centimetres. So please make sure that you are able to reach those minimum standards. I'm just going to go ahead and pop this back into his cage. He does spend the majority of his time in here. In their natural environment they will travel miles and miles, so it is important for them to definitely have a wheel in their cage. So as you can see, the Harry the Hamster mix contains loads of different items. So it is nutritiously balanced and suitable for hamsters of all shapes and sizes. So it does actually include whole peanuts, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, maize, oats, wheat and peas, as well as added vitamins to provide a tasty everyday diet that promotes your hamster's well-being. So I'm just going to pop in some of the bedding, just so if he was to go in there he can make his own little bed. And I'm going to pop that on top of that. It's always a good addition is these wooden bridges. So these can be used for a variety of things. So they are actually bendy. I will pop this from their sand, which allows them to get up onto their shelf. So just going to pop in there a little shrimp cookie. Now I also get these from a local pet shop. I think they do about 9 for £1.99 or something, or £2.99, and they are a firm favourite with my hamsters. So another thing which is great for hamsters is to make seed mix. So you can see here that there are several different seeds in there. There's some mealworms just to give them their protein. This is just something that I've made myself, so it's so easy to make. You can just find out which seeds are safe for hamsters and just create a little mixture of your own. It will encourage his natural foraging behaviours. It'll also encourage him to use his little nose to find all the little goodies throughout his cage. And then lastly I'm going to pop in some of this herb mix. So again, just make sure that it is safe for hamsters, but this also encourages their natural foraging behaviour. And there we have it. So I'm now going to go ahead and pop Teddy back in. He will probably have a little explore around and then he'll pop back to bed. So let's see what he makes of his new tidy enclosure. Come on then, little man, you're going to come out. So he's been asleep for a little while, so let's see if we can find him. I'm sorry I'm disturbing you again, aren't I? Hey? Here he is. Hello, little sweet man. Hello, sweet pea. You gonna come and say hi? Oh, no, he's gone back to bed. Come on, sweet pea. Come on then, are we gonna go and explore your cage? Go on then. Good boy. Where are you gonna go first, hey? Thank you. got some toys. We've got, on top of the shelf, we've got a pink plastic hide with all of his treats and his food. Under that we've got his bedding and also a little maze. We've got his sand bath with his wooden bridge, and finally we've got his burrowing area with his, what once was, a carrot house. Okay, so the last thing to mention on the list is cages. Often the cages that are sold within pet stores are not actually adequate, so they don't meet the minimum size in which a rodent requires. So if you're going to get a dwarf hamster, the minimum cage measurements are 80 centimeters by 50 centimeters, and for a Syrian, 100 centimeters by 50 centimeters. So I would suggest that all hamsters live on their own. So in some cases, the dwarfs are sold in pairs. Even with lots of space, they can actually fight to the death. So both breeds of hamsters are actually solitary in the wild, so they will only come together to mate. So the signs that dwarves are going to fight are very subtle. Circumstance can change very quickly, which could result in severe injury or even death. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope if you came here to be educated, you have learned a little bit about hamsters. So if you did enjoy, then please hit the like button, subscribe and comment, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!